Hello, I'm Joshua Larson, and this is my wife, Whitney Larson. And we have been married for about 2 years now. We were married in the Salt Lake City Temple, and we just celebrated our second anniversary in December.
I am originally from Dallas, Texas, and Josh is originally from San Diego, California. And we've been living here in Orem, Utah for a long time, about 8 years.
Yeah, on average about both of us. So.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'm studying international business at UVU, and Whitney's studying journalism, broadcast journalism at BYU with music minor and a theater minor. So it's awesome. We mesh together like Oreo cookies. So and milk.
Yes.
So we're gonna go ahead and ask each other some questions, and then get to the questions provided. And we haven't told each other what the questions are. And my first one, it is a surprise, and to keep everyone on the edge of their seats. But my first question is, Whitney, why do you love me so much?
That's an easy one.
Stop it.
I love Josh because he is a great husband and a great provider. He takes very good care of our little family. We don't have any kids yet, but we do have 2 dogs. And he always puts us first. He is a great housewife. He cleans. He doesn't cook, but he cleans, and I love that because I hate cleaning. And so he's a good housewife to me. And he's a great spiritual leader, and he is just an amazing patriarch of our family.
That's nice.
Can I ask you a question now?
No.
What are some of your hobbies?
Mine? My hobbies? Oh, there are many and yet so few. I love the movies. I love to watch movies, I love analyzing movies, and I act, and have been in a couple of movies as featured extras, and I've just landed a couple of roles where I'm actually speaking. And then I love to play video games. I cannot deny it because it is a riot, and that did rhyme. And so, and then another thing that I just really enjoy is hanging out with family. I love going out to eat to restaurants and mingling, and you know, just sitting down and visiting, which is actually nice because that's what I do, is sales, and I visit a lot of people.
You do.
So yes, I would say those are my hobbies.
Cool.
And taking care of you.
Oh.
So another question of mine is, do you like living in Utah?
Oh, man. This is the #1 thing that we argue about, because I am a Texan to the bottom of my soul. But I've really grown to love Utah, and if Texas had Utah's weather, it would be the most perfect place on earth. But it doesn't, and it's insanely hot. And so I do love Utah, and I love the snow, and I love the cool summers, but I just can't let go of the Lone Star State.
I know, it's true. Okay.
So,
do you have any other questions for me?
I don't.
Okay.
But
she already knows you so well, that's why.
I do know him very well. But let me go ahead and ask you, what is the most difficult trial that you've had to endure in your lifetime? And I think you said that your favorite scripture corresponds with that.
Yes. So I'll keep it short and sweet. So 1, I don't start crying, and then 2, to keep it in time frame. So I kind of thought of most difficult time, and which is funny because I don't think of my life as like, oh, it's this woe story, oh, it's been so difficult. But in all reality, I mean, my family and I have had trials and difficulties, you know. But you know, my parents both lost their jobs for over a year. We had to sell our cars to pay the bills. You know, my brother kind of went off. One of the big times was when my brother went off the deep end, let's say, and kind of went away from the church for a year or so, and kind of nobody knew what was going on with him and whatnot, and that worried me a lot too. And then also having a sister that we love, and we love her family, but is not as active as we would all hope to be, unfortunately. But I feel like we, as a family, don't look at things as, oh, this is a horrible thing that happened to me because of the church, because of how my parents have raised us, and how they have had such amazing faith through everything, and that they've just simply loved us so much throughout everything. So it hasn't felt like this horrible, tragic thing, and my that there's different diseases and all those things, I mean, there's no cancer or deaths or anything like that, but I mean, we have gone through a lot of trials. And then the other one was my mission was a huge difficult time for me. I loved it. Looking back on it, I loved every minute of it. During the time, I was like, well, man, this is super hard. Yeah. And I went to Lima, Peru, and went to some pretty poor areas, and I loved everybody there, but it was really hard, and not being with your family for so long and not having ever experienced that. And what helped me get me through that was reading the scriptures a lot. And my favorite scripture is Doctrine and Covenants, section 45, verses 3 through 5, and I'll read that. It says, "Listen to him who is the advocate with the Father, who is pleading with your cause before him, saying, Father, behold the suffering and death of him who did no sin, in whom thou wast well pleased. Behold the blood of thy Son, which was shed, the blood of him whom thou gavest, that thyself might be glorified. Wherefore, Father, spare these my brethren that believe on my name, that they may come unto me and have everlasting life." On my mission, I had a very clear, almost like a vision with that. I don't know if I even told you that, but I was having a really hard time, and when I read that, I felt like like Jesus just put his arm around me, and with my many flaws and shortcomings, that he put his arm around me and is saying, Father, accept this fool. Like, that's what my sacrifice was for. So that's my side. And so I ask you the same question.
Well, it's a pretty easy one. My most difficult trial that I've been through in my life is definitely dealing with the presence of addiction in my immediate family. And it was something that was just kind of thrown at me at a very young age. I was 13, and it's something I'll have to deal with for the rest of my life. And I'm so lucky that Josh has been so supportive, that he married into my family, and he's had just such a great attitude of addiction being a disease and towards recovery, and he's so non-judgmental, which is very important because I want him to love my family even with their flaws. And it's just really been amazing having him, because as a young adult I just went through some really dark times where things weren't good at home, and family members were using drugs, and it's really hard having no one to turn to. But I always, of course, had the Lord, but having Josh now has really helped to ease that trial quite a bit. And my favorite scripture is not necessarily a single scripture, but more a piece of scripture, and it's Psalm 42. And I'm a member of the BYU Singers right now, and this is a piece that we are performing and taking on tour to the United Kingdom this summer. And I just love it because it talks about the soul longing for Christ, and how our soul longeth constantly to return home to our Father in heaven.
So that's us, the new Larson family.
Yes.
And we hope that you guys enjoyed the video, even if you don't pick us. So thanks.
Thank you.
Adorable ending.